Welcome to the fifth episode of the Sports World with Patrik. So in this episode, we're gonna go ahead and talk. We're gonna continue on this transfer portal wave, and we're gonna actually go to women's basketball and the transfer portal there. So let me go ahead and give you sort of a recap of what all this week we have already talked about. So we talked about, of course, the first two episodes for this week were about the NCAA women's hockey transfer portal, and now we are going to go ahead and go to the NCAA women's basketball. And so we will end the week. The episode coming out on Friday will be about the WNBA with its upcoming season here in just a few days. So let's go ahead and get started on the transfer portal for the NCAA women's basketball. So, of course, in the transfer portal for the ACC, one of the most dominant conferences in college basketball. So let's go ahead and see. I am getting this data off of the Next. I want to thank their writers for all of the upkeep that they do with the transfer portal. So let's go ahead and get started in the ACC with Boston College. They do have three players, all already committed. So Boston College has Jada Johnson, their 6-foot guard, freshman who did not play at all this year, going to the University of Dayton. Next is Ali Van Timmeren. She is going from Boston College to Michigan. JoJo Lacey is going from Boston College to Rutgers. Next in the ACC is Clemson. Maddie Oat has withdrawn from the transfer portal. And Nia Valentine and Rudy Whitemore are both still in the transfer portal. Michaela Elmore has committed from Clemson to Pittsburgh, staying in the ACC. And next is Maddie Cluse from Clemson. She has withdrawn from the transfer portal. Next is Florida State. Lucia Navarro is leaving Florida State, or is in the transfer portal for Florida State, but has not yet committed. Next up in the transfer portal for Florida State is Skya White. She is leaving Florida State to go to the University of Louisiana Monroe. For Georgia Tech, Anissa Clark, Jada Biako, Avoice Carter are all in the transfer portal, including Raven Boswell, who is transferring to Pittsburgh, staying within the ACC. Next is for Louisville is Henny Van Shalika. She is transferring from Louisville to San Jose State. Next is Alexa Mulby. She is transferring from Louisville to Florida, going from the ACC to the SEC. And next is Alea Love, who is still in the transfer portal uncommitted. Next for Miami, Florida is Ali Stedman. Ali Stedman is going to the University of Central Florida. Kayla Oldacare, who is still in the transfer portal for Miami. Letitia Lattimore is leaving the University of Miami to go to Virginia. Next is Lazara Spearman, leaving the University of Miami to go to Tennessee. Lashee Dwyer is leaving the University of Miami and has not yet committed anywhere. Jolie Williams is leaving the University of Miami to go to Louisville. And Cheyenne Day Wilson is leaving the University of Miami to go to LSU. Of course, the other player now for Miami, Florida is Haley Cavender, who, of course, played at the University of Miami and then initially retired from college basketball and then went to TCU. She is now changed from going from TCU. She's going back to play in Miami with her sister. So she, of course, Haley has came back to the University of Miami and was originally supposed to go to TCU. Next up for North Carolina, the Tar Heels, is Riley Grace. Alexandria Zalea is going to the University of Wilmington. The University of North Carolina, Wilmington. Tony Kay is going from the University of North Carolina to Kentucky. Anna Poole is in the transfer portal, has not yet committed anywhere. Paula Paris is leaving the University of North Carolina to Arizona. And Deja Kelly is in the transfer portal for the University of North Carolina. Next team in the ACC is going to be North Carolina State. They have Alicia Lewis and Katie Penobati in the transfer portal. None of them, they have not yet committed anywhere. They don't have a school just yet to go to. Next is Notre Dame. Notre Dame has Lauren Zalisic, who did not play this last year. Naila Marshall, who is transferring from the University or from Notre Dame to the University of Miami. Next is KK Bransford, who is transferring, or who has withdrawn now from the transfer portal. Next for Pittsburgh is Jasmine Timerson, who's in the transfer portal. Gabby Hutcherson, who has went to the Quincy. Next is Rapolshi Aildili, if I'm saying that correctly. In the transfer portal, has not yet found a school to go to. Or has not actually, I should say it this way, has not transferred anywhere just yet. Next is Laito King. She has not transferred anywhere just yet. Syracuse is next for the ACC. Marilla Tirianafli is in the transfer portal. Kennedy Perkins is in the transfer portal. Cheyenne McEvans is in the transfer portal, and Alyssa Latman is in the transfer portal. Alyssa Latman is going to the University of Tennessee and transferring from Syracuse. The next team in the ACC is going to be the University of Virginia. Virginia has Kata Lawson, Caddy Pauley, Alexa Smith, and Mira McLean in the transfer portal. Caddy Pauley is transferring from the University of Virginia to the Missouri State. And then Alexis Smith is transferring from the University of Virginia to Oklahoma State. The next school in the ACC to have players in the transfer portal is Gabby Brooks, Semiha Shorovan, Carla Stark, Georgia Amore, Sahima Surin has withdrawn from the transfer portal. Carlos Strack and Georgia Armour are both going from the Virginia Tech to the University of Kentucky. And the last school for the ACC is going to be Wake Forest, who has Aaliyah McWorthy, and who has not yet transferred to another school yet. The next conference on the list here is the Big 12. So let's start off with the Big 12 here. In the Big 12, Baylor has 3 players in the transfer portal: Letty Vensacolis, Katrina Ferreira and Denan Fritz are in the transfer portal for Baylor. None of them have yet transferred or have exited the transfer portal just yet. Next is BYU. BYU has Aliyah Matovi, Rose Bukakar, and Nani Falitia. Those three players have not yet exited the transfer portal yet. Next is Carissa Craig, Tazika Jenks, Barlin Milton, and Maya Williams. Carissa Craig has transferred to has transferred from the University of Cincinnati. Sorry, we're at Cincinnati, but the University of Cincinnati to New Mexico. Taisa Jenks has transferred from the University of Cincinnati to Florida Atlantic University. And Mayla Williams has transferred from the University of Cincinnati to Florida State. Next is next in the Big 12 is Houston. They got Asha Thompson, Amari Khan, Derissa Diawara, and Cameron Jones. Amari Khan has withdrawn from the transfer portal, and Derissa Diawara is going to San Jose State. Next in the Big 12 is Iowa State. Iowa State has a total of 6 players in a transfer portal, and they are Mary Kate King, Shantiva Dawkins, Izzy Zingaro, Inslee Natal, Jalen Bristow, and Namer Diev. Shanivaya Dawkins is transferring from Iowa State to the University of Dayton. Izzy Zigaru is transferring from Iowa State to Montana. And Jalen Briscoe is transferring from Iowa State to Texas Tech. And Namer Diu is transferring from Iowa State to Colorado. Next in the Big 12 is Jovia Telegi, Paris Gaines, and Skylar Gill. Paris Gaines is transferring from Kansas to Georgia Southern, and Skylar Gill is transferring from Kansas to go to Florida Gulf Coast University. Next is Kansas State. Heavenly Gearer and Jamira Harris are in the transfer portal for Kansas City. Heavenly Greer is going to Arizona State and transferring from Kansas State to Arizona State. Next in the next school is Oklahoma. Oklahoma has Kayla Cooper and Kelby Washington. And they are both not committed yet to another school in the transfer portal. Next is going to be Oklahoma State with Mia Galbraith, Aaliyah Douglas, Brianna Jackson, Kennedy Fauntleroy, Chandler Parker, Leora Garzon and Hannah Gusters. Mia Galtbread is going from Oklahoma State to Texas State. Breonna Jackson is going from Oklahoma State to Coastal Carolina. Kennedy Fauntleroy is going from Oklahoma State to Arizona State. Charter Parker is going from Oklahoma State to Mississippi State. Leor Gazorn is going from Oklahoma State to Colorado. Hannah Gushers is going from Oklahoma State to the University of Central Florida. Next up is TCU. They've got Breon White, Jay Clack, Victoria Flores, Paige Bradley, and Sydney Harris. Jay Clark is going from TCU to Tulsa, and Sydney Harris is going from TCU to Iowa State. Next, next school in the Big 12 is going to be Texas. Texas has Galisa Mo, Kadia Faye, and Amani Muhammad, and Dion Gaston. Dion Gaston is going to the University of Auburn, or is transferred to the University of Auburn from Texas. Next school is going to be Texas Tech. Texas Tech has 5 players in the transfer portal: Tiona Heron, Saga Ukone, Ashley Chevalier, Alina Arkey, and Jazon Jackson. Saga Yukon is transferring from Texas Tech to Fresno State. Ashley Chevalier is transferring from Texas Tech to Houston. And Alina Arkey is transferring from Texas Tech to Middle Tennessee State University. Next in the Big 12 is the University of Central Florida. They got Mary McMillan, Sierra Goldbolt, Asia Todd, Timiria Ware, Jayla Kelly, and Azimhan Houghton. Mary McLean has transferred from the University of Central Florida to Stetson, and Tiara Mayer has transferred from the University of Central Florida to East Carolina. Next, in the very last school for the Big 12 is West Virginia, who has Messiah Hunter transferring from West Virginia to Seton Hall. The next school is going to be the Big East. In the Big East, Butler is the first school, with Abby Stoddard being the first player in the transfer portal, along with Kendall Wigner and Anna Mortog. Abby Stoddard is transferring from Butler to St. Francis. Kendall Wingler is transferring from Butler to IUPUI. IUPUI is breaking up and is going to be IU Indy, and I believe it's going to be Purdue PUI also. Next will be, of course, Anna Mortag is going from Butler to Florida Gulf Coast University. In the transfer portal for UConn in the Big East is Ines Betancourt and Amari DeBerry. Amari DeBerry is transferring to the University of Maryland from UConn. Next is going to be Creighton. They have Brittany Harshaw, Michaela Miller, and Emma Ronisek. Brittany Harshaw will be transferring from Creighton to Kansas. Michaela Miller is transferring from Creighton to Tulsa, and Emma Rottenscheek will be transferring from Creighton to Colorado State. Next is Georgetown. Georgetown has two players in the Providence, including Malia Ham and Jasmine Ott. Malia Ham is transferring from Georgetown to Central Michigan. Next is from Marquette, which has Nia Clark, Lee Volker, Mackenzie Hare, and Lisa Carlin in the transfer portal. Nia Clark has transferred to Cincinnati. Mackenzie Hare is transferring to Iowa State. Next is going to be Providence. Shauna Cognasabe is in the transfer portal. Cami Ludwig, Bella McLaughlin, and Kendall Eddy are in the transfer portal. Bella McLaughlin is transferring to the university, or has transferred to the university, or Boston University. I'm sorry. Seton Hall is the next school up. They have McKenna White and Micah Gray. Micah Gray is transferring to Oklahoma State. St. John's has Tyone Bailey in the transfer portal, and she has not yet committed anywhere. Next is Villanova on the list here, and they have Kylie Switter, Abigail Jegedy, Megan Olsbury, Zani Jones, Christina Delice, and Lucy Olson in the transfer portal. Kylie Swinder is transferring to Stonehill. Megan Olsbury is transferring to the University of Massachusetts, and Lucy Olden is transferring to Iowa. The last school for this episode is going to be Xavier. Xavier has Shelby Calhoun, Abby Schutberg, Elenia Harris, Cassia Woods, and Michaela Scarlett. Kaisha Woods is transferring to Wichita State from Xavier, and Michaela Scarlett is transferring to Providence. Actually, I am going to do one more school. I'll do the Big Ten here for this podcast. So in the Big Ten, I'll start off with Illinois. Illinois has 4 players in the transfer portal. They have Camila Jackson, Cameron Rhodes, Alicia Nador, and Samantha Dewey. Camila Jackson is transferring to Miami, Ohio. Next in the Big Ten is going to be Maryland. They have Summer Bostock, Hawa Domboya, Riley Nelson, and Fate Manisonis. Hawa Domu Boya is transferring to Virginia, and Riley Nelson is transferring to Duke. Next is the Michigan Wolverines. They have Elsie Stuck in the transfer portal, Taylor Woodson, Taylor Williams, Shira Evans, Cameron Williams, and Layla Filia. Ellie Stuck is transferring to Ball State. Taylor Woodson is transferring to Minnesota. Taylor Williams is transferring to Northwestern. Shira Evans is transferring to Utah. and Layla Filia is transferring to Texas. Next is Michigan State. They have Bree Robinson, Lauren Ross, Gabby Elliott, and Dee Hageman in the transfer portal. Lauren Ross is going to the University of Purdue Fort Wayne, and Dee Hageman is going to Ole Miss. Next in the transfer portal from Minnesota is McKinley Dolan, Ajoke Madole, and Aina Johnson. They have all not yet committed to school in the transfer portal just yet. Next is Nebraska, which has Anika Stewart in the transfer portal, and she actually is now committed to the University of Minnesota. Next in the Big Ten is Northwestern, who has Elena Goodchild, Paige Mott in the transfer portal. Both of those have not yet committed to a school just yet. Next in the Big Ten is the Ohio State University. They have Diana Collins, Emma Shoemate, and Ricky Harris in the transfer portal. Diana Collins has transferred to the University of Alabama, and Emma Shoemate has transferred to Michigan State. Next in the Big Ten is Penn State. They have Allie Brigham, Shay Kaiski, and Leanna Kapanis. Allie Brigham has transferred to the University of to Bryant, and Shay Kieski has transferred to Indiana. Purdue has two players in the transfer portal, Emily Monson and Mary Ashley Stevenson. Emily Monson has transferred to Middle Tennessee State University. Next in the Big Ten is Rutgers. They have Erica Lafayette, Jillian Hurtier, and Kylene Sminkle. Erica Lafayette has transferred to the University of Louisiana Lafayette. Jillian Hurtier has transferred to Fairfield, and Cayenne Sminkle has transferred to Maryland. Next for Wisconsin is Tessa Towers, M.B. Jones, Sakia Vanderpool, Anna Gullion, and Saina Copeland. Tessa Towers has transferred to Ball State. Vakia Vanderpool has transferred to North Dakota State. And Kaina Copeland has transferred to Kansas. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Sports World with Patrik. The next one will be, of course, another episode about the transfer portal here in the NCAA Women's College Basketball. And, of course, that will be with the remaining two conferences, so that might be a little shorter, just depending on how many schools there are to cover there. Thank you.